the path of devotion, aspirants, devotees, ask, how can I evaluate, assess, how do I know whether or not I am progressing on the path of devotion? Just like when we take a journey, we travel by road, we keep coming across milestones. And these milestones, they enable us to calculate the distance we have traveled. So on the path of devotion, there are milestones. What are they? How do we know that we're progressing on the path of devotion? The outward, external indications of the development of a devotee, what are they? So, forbearance or indifference to even the most irreparable or unexpected loss or pain, ardent longing for God, great desire to hear about the leelas and the virtues and the attributes of Sri Radha Krishna. Worldly attachments begin to recede. Lack of desire for public esteem, and maximum utilization of all the spare time possible in devotional practice. Considering every moment spent otherwise as wasted. Aside from these, there are other symptoms of divine love consciousness. When a devotee rises higher and higher on the path of divine love consciousness, then with constant practice and the grace of his Guru and Sri Radha Krishna, the devotee, these symptoms of love manifest in the body of a devotee. Stambha svedotha romanchah svarabhedotha ve pathuh vaivarnyamashru pralaya ityashto satvikah smritah. So, stillness, the body freezes, and then there is perspiration, goosebumps, trembling, change in facial glow and expression, tears of love, and unconsciousness. These are various symptoms that manifest in the body of evolved devotees. When we first begin our meditation, we're bound to face a number of problems. Mental laziness, doubt, unsteadiness in concentration, despair, false perception, apprehension perhaps. These are all obstacles in meditation. And instead of Shri Krishna, the faces of our worldly relations keep coming in our mind, in front of us. And the most unexpected, unusual thoughts, they creep into our mind unexpectedly. So these are some of the obstacles that we experience. These are, never mind these failures. These are but an initial phase in meditation. What we have to do is we have to be steadfast and continue our practice with due diligence, and we will experience that more and more, that the wandering of our mind rather is becoming less and less strong, and we are gaining stability, tranquility of the mind is also growing, is what we will experience. In the Gita, Arjun asked Shri Krishna this very question. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna parpramati balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Arjun said to Shri Krishna that, "Oh Shri Krishna, you want me to control my mind? How can I do it? It is wavering so vehemently, and it is so powerfully defiant that to control the mind is as difficult to control a strong wind." So Shri Krishna said, "Yes, Arjun. Asanshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chagrihyate." So Shri Krishna said to Arjun, "Yes, Arjun, you're absolutely right. The mind is indeed very difficult to control because it is made of the conflicting forces of Maya. Therefore, it is restless and fickle and very obstinate. However, it is very possible to control the fickleness of the mind, bring it under control with constant practice of devotion, detachment, and renunciation." I want to take the time to address on the path of devotion. In devotion, sometimes devotees feel a sense of discouragement, disheartenment. They feel, "Oh, I've been doing sadhana for so many years, and yet I have not received the vision of Sri Radha Krishna." Sri Maharaji resolves his doubt, and he tells us, advises us, graces us with his divine teachings, and he says, "Hari daras de yan de tum rote jao pyare. Hari daras de yan de tum rote jao pyare. Rote jao प्यारे. एक दिन आई है विश्वास राखहु प्यारे. एक दिन आई है विश्वास राखहु प्यारे. विश्वास राखहु प्यारे. As devotees, as aspirants, our duty, our job is to evolve feelings of yearning and longing in our sadhana. And even after that, in spite of that, if Shri Krishna, Sri Radha Krishna do not grant their vision, despite our sadhana, we should not feel disappointed. Because in devotion, a devotee can only humbly request, should only humbly request Sri Radha Krishna to grant their vision. Oh, my beloved Krishna, it is my strong desire to visualize you in your true divine glory. But in spite of that, if we do not receive the vision of Sri Radha Krishna, then it is not their fault, it is our own mistake. It's our own lack. The magnitude of our longing is not what it should be, what it needs to be. That is why they cannot give us their darshan. That is why. Let us draw inspiration from the life of Madhusoodan Saraswati. Madhusoodan Saraswati was a great scholar, and he was also the follower of Shankaracharya. And what he used to do was, he used to do shastrarth, scriptural debates, and he used to defeat other scholars in the debate. So once a saint met him and asked him, so when you win a debate, how do you feel? Do you feel great? Oh yes, of course, I feel happy. So when you lose a debate, how do you feel? You don't feel happy, do you? No, I don't feel happy. So that saint said that you're the follower of the path of Gyan, and you're still oscillating, swinging between the states of happiness and unhappiness. You have not achieved that state of non-duality. Shame on you. You defeat others, cause grief to them. Do you realize that you are only boosting your ego by doing this? So Madhusoodan Saraswati realized that that saint pointed out his fault, his weakness. So he asked, well, then what should I do? So this saint advised him to go to Vrindavan and do sadhana. So he heeded the teachings, Madhusoodan Saraswati, and he went to Vrindavan, and for 3 years he did sadhana. But after 3 years, he did not receive the vision of Shri Krishna. So disappointed, he started to think, this is all a waste, I'm just leaving. So he started to leave, and then he came upon he met another saint. And that saint remarked, you've lost hope already? What was your experience? So Madhusoodan Saraswati said, well, I did sadhana for 3 years, and Shri Krishna has not given me his darshan yet. So the saint said, okay, well, let me introduce you to a ghost. Do you want to see a ghost? So he said, okay, well, I haven't seen God. Perhaps I can just see a ghost. So he taught him the sadhana of how to see that ghost. So for 1 year, he did that sadhana and no results. So he started to think, this is not working either. I'm leaving. So that saint met him again and asked him, what happened? So he said, I have had no luck. I have had no luck. So that saint called that ghost. And so when the ghost appeared, and he was asked, what happened? So the ghost said, I tried to come near him. I tried to approach him, but every time I did, his aura was so intense, it was so severe that my body started to burn. So Madhusoodan Saraswati realized that the sadhana that he had done was not going to waste, that actually was having an effect, for sure. So then he went back to Vrindavan and did sadhana near the Radha Govinda Mandir in Vrindavan for 3 more years. And at the end of his sadhana, Shri Krishna appeared before him. And when he appeared before him, something strange happened. What happened was, Madhusoodan Saraswati turned his face away. So Shri Krishna asked him, why do you feel so, what are you so dejected about? I'm here now. So Madhusoodan Saraswati said, what took you so long to come? So Shri Krishna, he manifested that mountain of his sins and he said, look at this. This is the reason it took me so long to come to you. In the words of Ram Krishna Paramhans, hidden are uncountable pearls in the sea. If a single dive does not yield you one, do not conclude that the sea is without pearls. In the same way, if after doing sadhana and devotion and following devotional discipline for many, many years, for a long time, if we do not succeed, we should not lose hope. We should not get disappointed. This is what the saints teach us, because grace will manifest in the form of the vision of Sri Radha Krishna when we prepare our patra, our pot, fully. Let us take an example, take a lesson from a small child. A small child, when the child learns to walk, how many times does it fall and hurt himself? But it never gives up. It keeps trying repeatedly, and eventually it succeeds in its task, walking. We have been through this very stage, but we have forgotten that we also tried very hard, made a lot of efforts to be able to stand, sit, walk, run. Yes. So we should not lose heart. We should not feel disappointed. The human mind, our mind, is full of, I can't do that, I cannot do that. You see, some people are mentally lazy, some people are physically lazy, some people are lazy mentally and physically. I'm not saying that any of you are. I'm talking about other people. Absolutely not. Of course. How can I say that about you? So when they sit to pray, they sleep instead of meditating. And when their head nods, rather. This is English language. It's not my favorite. But I have to speak in English. So when their head nods, they dive into bed. And that's the end of their devotion. So the mind is full of can'ts. I cannot do that, I cannot do that. But we have the power within us to accomplish whatever that we want. Yes, we do. So all we have to do is fix our mind on the lotus feet of, we think it's hard to find, it seems very, very hard to find God, but He is the easiest to please if we can convince Him that He means everything to us. All we have to do is fix our mind on his lotus feet and pine for him, just like a miser longs for gold, a lover for his beloved, and a drowning man struggles for life. That is what we have to do. God has given us a yearning heart for love, so we should use that heart. We should use our heart to love Him above everything else. Why do we want to use our love on false goals? Why? So, this intense yearning and longing is actually the life of devotion. Jehi khojat narad, that it is even desired by the Paramhans. And it was due to this very intense longing that the gopis of Braj, they attained such a supreme state that was unattainable even by Brahma and Shankar. The implication is that yearning and longing is the very life and the soul of devotion. We can achieve this longing by diverting the desires of our senses toward Shri Krishna. Listen carefully. I am, by the way, going to take a little more of your time today. So I'm just letting you know this is my last lecture, so just bear with me. Please. I hope I'm not boring you, am I? With my lecture? Okay, good. Yeah, I want to make sure that I don't bore you out of your brains. But this is philosophy. This is Maharaj's philosophy. And today's my last day, so I have to finish my topic. So anyway, we have to divert the desires of our senses to Shri Krishna. That is what we have to do. Just like the Mayic defilements, anger and greed and pride and all of these are considered as vices, defilements. And some preachers, not preachers of Maharaji, but other preachers, they say, oh, just get rid of them, destroy them, eliminate them. But it is not possible to eliminate these defilements because their origin is Maya, for one thing. And our mind is also made of Maya. So until and unless we become God realized, we cannot expect to destroy these. These are indestructible until that time. Until we are liberated from the clutches of Maya. So what we can do instead is we can divert them to Shri Krishna to further enhance our devotional practices and also to enhance our devotional experiences. This might seem rather peculiar or strange or unusual, but if we can divert the desires of our mind, because the path of devotion is all accommodating, it is all embracing. There's no struggle, no suppression, none whatsoever. All we have to do is simply divert. Just like if we take greed. Greed in the world is condemned. We all know that. But when we divert greed to Shri Krishna, it becomes a virtue. Sita Ram Charan Rati More Anudina Badhai Rati Tore. Bharat Ji says that I feel greedy to let my love for Shri Sitaram grow day by day. Every day I want I feel greedy. I have this greed because I want their love to grow and grow. Greed in devotion, it just keeps multiplying endlessly because divine love is boundless. It is endless. And so it keeps growing. It is infinite. It is unlimited. So when diverted to Shri Krishna, it becomes a virtue. Let us take pride. What happens when a devotee experiences pride? What happens? Asa abhiman jai jani bhore, मैं सेवक रघुपति पति मोरे. When a devotee on the path of devotion experiences pride, what pride does he experience? Oh, that almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-blissful form of God, Sri Radha Krishna, are my Lord. They are the beloved of my soul, and I am their servant. What harm can this Maya bring upon me? So with this feeling of pride, a devotee faces all opposition and challenges in this world. And this pride is good. It helps the devotional progress of a devotee. Let us look at anger. Ha Raghu Nandana Prana Pirite Tum Binu Jiyat Bahut Deen Bite. King Dashrath, the father of Bhagwan Ram, he says, what a fallen soul I am that my heart doesn't even melt in his separation. It doesn't even melt in his separation. I am so terribly frustrated to be alive in the separation of his love. So which means that if his soul would have departed had he felt that extreme longing and yearning, that infinite, extreme, boundless longing and yearning for his beloved. So the point here is that all of the attachments to our worldly relations and also to objects, which is the basis of all of the afflictions and mental bondage, they become the means of breaking the material bondage when diverted to Sri Radha Krishna. That is what happens. When they are diverted to Sri Radha Krishna, then they become the means of the breaking of the material bondage. So, in devotion, the main secret to know in devotion is that whatever feelings, our emotions, our feelings, they don't have to be illuminated. We don't have to think of them as hindrances. We can simply divert them and steer them in the direction of God. Bhakti is not a path of giving up. It is a path of adding up. It only says that greater love, it overpowers smaller love. When we develop love for God, it automatically, it nullifies material love, which is smaller and insignificant. That is what happens in devotion. So we don't have to think of these emotions as hindrances if we can divert them to Sri Radha Krishna. There's one last aspect that I wish to address, which is how we can practice the problems that we face in Karma Yoga. Karma, our physical duties, and Yoga, the attachment of our mind. You see, what happens is people, they practice devotion for some time in their homes. And after some time, the glamour of the world, it casts its spell on them. And they forget their devotional aim. They forget their devotional aim. They step back into materialistic living and forget about their divine aim and God. So whatever effort that they had put also gets lost owing to their carelessness. So it is very important to know how we should maintain constant remembrance of God while performing our worldly duties. You see, Ramakrishna Paramhans, he said, do your duty with one hand, and with the other, hold on to God. When your duty is over, you must hold on to God with both hands. That's what Ramakrishna Paramhans said. These are his teachings. So we have to constantly maintain and remember the presence of God with us. Just like we remember our own presence, I, the self, we have to also add the presence of God, Sri Radha Krishna. The Vedas tell us, Eko Devaha Sarvabhuteshu Gudhaha Sarvavyapi Sarvabhutantaratma Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vriksham Parikhasvajate Tayoranyaha Pippalam Svadvatyanashna Nanyo Abhicha Kashiti. The Vedas tell us that God is near us, with us, and within us. That is a situation of God and the soul. He is our eternal beloved and our friend. So how do we incorporate this into our daily life? So before we begin our day, every day we should imagine that we are not alone. We are never alone, that Sri Radha Krishna and our Guru are with us. That is how we begin our day. If we work, when we get to work, we don't have to immediately start our work. We can first remember that they are there with us. Just think about them and then begin your work. Sri Maharaji, hundreds and hundreds of times Sri Maharaji has told us, we're all here on this intensive, there are so many moments each day, so many moments that we can make into devotional moments. when we are walking from our room to the prayer hall, we can do remembrance. We're not alone. They're walking over here with us. When we're walking to the dining hall for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we can do exactly the same thing. Even when we're brushing our teeth, whatever we're doing, there's so many moments that we can spend in remembrance. But what do we do instead? We love to honor our devotee friends and brothers and sisters with talking, and we like to entertain them because we feel that we have to do that. That is important for us. We are on the intensive, it's great. But for as long as we're sitting here in the satsang, yes, we are doing sadhana, perhaps. And as soon as we leave and we go to the dining hall, I'm not denying that we are also having devotional conversations, but not entirely, not always. It is entirely in our hands how we wish to utilize the knowledge that Sri Maharaji is bestowing upon us. It is entirely in our hands. However, that is what Sri Maharaji says. We can make them moments of devotional experience, moments of devotional remembrance. That is really. And when we do this, we will be also prevented from having this feeling of privacy. This feeling that we are so much in love with. We will be prevented from having this feeling because this privacy is really the cause of many of our undesirable, unfavorable thoughts that cross our mind. It's this feeling of privacy. So Sri Maharaji tells us that we have to remember that they are with us. We do not want to miss these daily appointments with God. Not at all. The mind, our deceptive, polluted mind, may suggest countless distractions. But when it comes time to recognizing the divine presence of Sri Radha Krishna in our Guru, we want to absolutely make sure that we keep the sacred engagement. We want to do that. That is most important. And when we do our practice in this way, when our practice deepens, it becomes stronger, then it will naturally achieve a natural form where the presence of Sri Radha Krishna will be felt easily and naturally without much effort. And when it grows even more, as we keep rising on this path of devotion, then we will also begin to offer all of our actions to them, whether we're eating, talking, drinking, sleeping, whatever, and all of our actions will become an offering to them. This is sadhana, karma yoga, doing sadhana while performing our worldly duties. And in addition to that, just as we do here every day, we should isolate ourselves from all worldly duties and commitments and all the chores and all the activities and everything, and spend time exclusively, devote time in devotion, doing Rup Dhyan. That is what we should do. So this sadhana of karma yoga and the sadhana of karma sannyas, these are the two described and revealed by Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, our beloved Gurudev. This is the process of heart purification that has been described. And in this way, when we will continue doing our sadhana, then a day will come when our heart will be fully purified and our Guru will grace us with the divine vision of Sri Radha Krishna as was described in this speech earlier this morning. Sada pashyanti suryaha tad vishnoh paramam padam, that forever, for all eternity, we will receive that divine boon of the divine eternal seva of Sri Radha Krishna. And all we need to reach that goal is, as Naraji once went to Braj, and as soon as he came to Braj, he came to Vrindavan, he started crying. Because all he experienced all around him, in every particle of Braj Dham, he experienced divine love. So he started crying. So when Lalita Sakhi asked Naraji, why are you crying? So Naraji said, Krishna bhava rasa bhavita matihi kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate tasya mulyamapi laulyamekalam janma koti sukritairnu labhyate. So Naraji said, oh, my child, Krishna love is so sasta. It is so inexpensive. It is so cheap. So Lalita Sakhi asked, well, what is the price? So he said, Tasya mulyamapi laulyamekalam. He said that the tivra iksha, extreme longing, desire, yearning, is the price for. And it is omnipresent, it is everywhere. It's not like if you need something, you have to go to a special place. You have to go to Delhi, or you have to go to Canada, or you have to go to England. No, it is not like that. It is everywhere. So, with these words, I wish to conclude this lecture on Rup Dhyan, and